You know, every once in a while, a new piece of tech comes along that just sends these massive shockwaves through an entire industry. And today, we're talking about one that whipped up so much hype, it had people making some pretty wild claims.
I mean, look at this. This was the headline from the Fireship YouTube channel, and it just perfectly sums up the absolute frenzy. The idea that some brand new AI could just come along and knock a tool like Photoshop off its throne, a tool that has dominated digital art for decades, it just seemed insane.
So, is it? Is the hype for real? Has the undisputed king of image editing finally met its match? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the story, the tech, and the reality behind this tool with a very, very silly name that had everyone talking.
Okay, so let's start with the hype. Because in the AI world, things move unbelievably fast. But this felt different. How did a tool nicknamed Nano Banana, of all things, just pop out of nowhere and completely take over the internet?
It happened in a flash. It all kicked off in early August of 2025 on a benchmarking site called LM Arena, which is where these things often start. A super powerful but totally anonymous new model just appeared. A couple of weeks later, social media was just flooded with these jaw-dropping edits. By the end of the month, the internet detectives had their prime suspect. This had to be a secret project from Google.
But what's really important here is why it got so much attention. People were absolutely floored by its ability to understand and pull off these really complicated, multi-step edits from just a single sentence. It was so good at keeping details straight that one user on Reddit called it, and I quote, "the most consistent model they'd ever seen."
So what exactly was this thing? After weeks of rumors and viral hashtags, the curtain was finally pulled back, and we found out who was behind all the chaos.
And yep, just as a lot of people guessed, it was Google. Nano Banana was the nickname the internet gave to Gemini 2.5 Flash Image, a pretty huge upgrade to their image tech. So this wasn't some scrappy startup or a rogue AI, it was the next big, official, and very powerful step for Google's Gemini models. All right, so we know what it is, but why all the Photoshop is dead talk? This is where the real magic comes in. It's all about a fundamental change in how we even think about editing an image.
See, for decades, professional image editing has been a super technical skill, right? In Photoshop, you're grabbing selection tools, you're painting masks, you're juggling layers, you're tweaking sliders. It's incredibly powerful, but you gotta know what you're doing. The new way, the Nano Banana way, is just talking. You just describe what you want like you're talking to a person. And this right here is the perfect example of that difference. I mean, think about that for a second. A single, simple sentence can now do what used to take a skilled artist minutes, maybe even longer, of really careful work with a bunch of different tools. That's the game changer. That accessibility is what caused the entire uproar. And what makes it feel so different is a few key things all working together. It gets natural language, so you don't have to draw a box around something to edit it. It can keep a character looking like the same person from image to image, which has been a massive headache for AI. You can even blend different photos together or just keep tweaking your idea step by step in a conversation. And the big one, it has real-world knowledge. It understands context, not just what color the pixels are. But to really get a feel for its power, you kind of have to see it in action. Let's just walk through how you can build an entire scene just by talking to it. So imagine we start with a really simple photo of an empty room. You kick things off with a simple command, paint the walls of this empty room. And boom, just like that, the model figures out what the walls are and paints them, all while keeping the original lighting and perspective totally intact. But we're not done. You just keep the conversation going. Okay, now add a bookshelf and some furniture. And the AI remembers what you were doing. It understands the space, and it places the new items realistically, with the right perspective, the right shadows, the whole thing. And for the final touch, you change the entire mood of the image with one last prompt. Make the lighting dusk with warm light, and the model just relights the whole scene. This ability to make changes one after another, where it remembers the context, to literally have a conversation with the image, that is a massive leap forward.
Okay, but as amazing and revolutionary as this all sounds, it is far from perfect. It's really important to look past the hype videos and see where this tech still has a long way to go.
And yeah, of course, users found the cracks pretty quick. For starters, it's just awful with text. It can also be kinda stubborn. Sometimes it just ignores parts of your prompt and does whatever it wants. You definitely still see that creepy uncanny valley look in people, and yep, it still can't draw hands right.
It's the classic AI problem. And on top of all that, since it's a Google product, it is heavily censored. It won't make anything that isn't considered safe for work.
So after you weigh the incredible power against the very real, very annoying flaws, what's the verdict? Where does a tool like this actually fit into the creative world? Which, of course, brings us all the way back to that first provocative question. Is this really the end of Photoshop as we know it?
Well, when you get right down to it, they're just different tools for different jobs. Photoshop is, and probably will be for a long time, the pro standard. It's for anyone who needs absolute pixel-perfect control. It's a finishing tool. Nano Banana, on the other hand, is an idea engine. It's for brainstorming like crazy, for creating concepts, and for iterating on ideas at the speed of thought.
So, no, it hasn't killed Photoshop, but what it has done is introduce a massive paradigm shift. We are moving from an era of purely manual, tool-based editing into a new one of conversational, intent-based creation. It's a whole new category of tool.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating and maybe even a little unsettling final thought. As these AI tools get better and better, more powerful, more intuitive, what does that mean for the future of creativity itself? When anyone can create a breathtaking image just by describing it, the very definition of what it means to be an artist, well, that might be about to change forever.